Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about Justin Bieber's natal chart, part 2. Well, the first thing I want to touch on is that he has the ruler of the 12th house in the 12th house in his natal chart, and this could indicate that isolation and secluded habits may be to his own undoing. Hidden enemies could be to his detriment. Imagination may be strong and profuse, and he may be exceptionally charitable. His ruler of the 10th house is posited in the 3rd house. The career may impact communications. Not surprisingly, the ruler Mercury conjuncts Mars, indicating possible truculent or combative communications connected with authority figures. He was arrested in January of 2014 for resisting arrest without the use of violence. His final signature is in Scorpio, and this obviously emphasizes Scorpio characteristics. Justin is apt to be very intense, mysterious, secretive, incisive, someone that is very resilient and bounces back from adversity very strongly, somebody with inordinate willpower, obviously a lot more than, I guess you could say, your typical Sun and Pisces personality. Somebody that has a lot of persistence and tenacity. And, Scorpio's personalities have a tendency, you don't want to say invincible, might be a stretch, but, people that have indomitable spirits, and I think Justin is very well, likely someone to have that. His chart pattern or type is the bundle pattern. Well, it's not really the bundle pattern because it technically falls out of the parameters. The maximum degrees for the pattern is supposed to be like 140, and his is about like 146, but I'm going to say it's close to a bundle pattern. And this could make Justin, very single-minded, have a lot of persistence, and likely someone to specialize in one particular field due to the concentration of energies. And the planets that figure most prominently in this would be the first, last planets, the two planets that are involved on the beginning and end of his pattern are the Moon and Venus. And Moon is connected, of course, with the public, and Venus, is associated with, the arts and music included. So I guess we could put this together, and obviously we know that he has established certain notoriety in conjunction with his singing ability. Bieber was signed to Island Records in October of 2008. At the time, transiting Uranus was conjuncting Bieber's natal Venus, and this was signifying perhaps an unusual change connected with the art somewhere of creativity. Transiting Pluto also conjuncted Bieber's 2nd house of transformation and finances. Justin Bieber was arrested in January of 2014, more specifically 2 times, on January 23rd, 2014 and January 29th, 2014. The first, on January 23rd, 2014, he was arrested and for driving, I guess it was he was suspected of the DUI, and when they conducted a test, after his arrest, police had ascertained that he had Xanax and THC in his system, and THC is a proponent of marijuana, and at least allegedly anyway. And at the time that transiting Neptune was conjunct Justin's natal sun, and that Neptune is connected with chemicals and drugs. And anyway, another thing was that Saturn, that Neptune had also conjuncted his natal Saturn at that time, and for some time it will. And this could be a period of, maybe some ambivalence and confusion, concerning the objectives. His ambitions might be vague and obscure right now, and he might really, unfortunately be lacking the direction right now, and might be possibly led or influenced by the wrong people, I believe, at this time. Now, as far as the future for Justin, transiting Uranus is conjuncting his natal part of fortune. Will be exactly, it's conjuncting it now, but will hit it exactly in mid-May of 2014. So expect, perhaps some kind of really, great, there might be some upheavals and changes considering, his fortune and what he's going to do. Is it going to be for the better, or is it going to be for the worst? I guess we'll stay tuned and find out. On February, I believe 11, 2015, transiting Pluto will conjunct Justin's natal Neptune, and we could see, some kind of perhaps some transformation connected with Justin's ideals and dreams. And let's just hope there's not going to be some transformation in conjunction with some, anything, drugs or chemicals, since Neptune does, is connected with that. His progressed Sun enters, is at like 0 degrees Aries right now, and this is going to be a period, when you hit the end of your, progressed Sun, or, I think a lot of times that could signify the end of a chapter in your life. Is it possible that Justin's going to move on to something different in the near future? I know that when the Sun is progressed into Aries, this could indicate a time of greater assertiveness. I guess we could say leadership, initiative, enterprise. Maybe could something sports related, be coming into Justin's future that's going to, maybe somehow be connected, with, strongly impacting his singing career. Who really knows? I mean, I know he's enamored with certain sports anyway. I mean, I think, like I had stated in the previous video, I think it's chess, soccer, and hockey, I believe. And also, this could, unfortunately be a combative period for him as well. Another thing is that his progressed Sun is conjuncting, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, his true Lilith in his chart. And this might be a period where Justin, unfortunately, might feel somewhat ostracized, and there might be feelings of being exiled or banned, at this period of time. Also, Saturn transiting Saturn is in his 12th house at the present time, and will stay there for some time. And this could be, perhaps a feeling, a lot of introspection going on in Justin's life at this time. The 12th house also does rule, imprisonment. So I'm hoping that, maybe that, future imprisonment might not be connected in his future, but it very well may, I think, with Saturn transiting his 12th house, and hopefully there won't be, any more confinement in the future, but I do believe it is possible, as far with this transit, because it could be imprisonment, could be the undoing, unfortunately, perhaps even in the future sometime for him. But anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for part 2 of Justin Bieber's natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be continuing my series of the house rulers. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis on a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.